Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Tuesday, the 27th day of May 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinabi Holder, and it's good to be here again. Always a pleasure to be in the land of the living, Adana.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it is a pleasure to give God, it's an honor rather, to give God thanks for life, because, I mean, we were sleeping last night, you were unconscious, you didn't know what was happening.
Yes.
And here we are this morning again, filled with life. What was the evening like yesterday, Akinlabi?
It was pretty interesting, you know. I take up a new project, a new challenge. Well, it's not really a new challenge, but I will be participating in something on Saturday that I'm kind of excited about, you know.
Pray tell, pray tell.
I joined a group to participate in the Best Village competition.
Ooh!
So, kind of looking forward to that.
And we know you're not a stranger to the stage, for those who don't know. So we're looking forward to see what is happening there. We will be following the progress and the projection of this as you take that stage come Best Village time around.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're so happy that you're here with us this morning, and of course we want you to stay with us as we go through the conversations. But before we get there, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, May 27, 2025. The Stand Your Ground legislation could soon reach Parliament, with Attorney John Jeremy aiming to introduce the bill following the upcoming mid-year budget review. This move depends on the findings of a specialized committee currently being formed by the Ministry of Homeland Security. The bill may require special majority due to constitutional implications. Jeremy is awaiting policy guidance and comparisons with international law. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles-Robinson expressed openness to supporting the legislation once details are known. Jeremy also noted that the repeal of property tax is imminent alongside other key legislative items. Up next, Tobago's push for greater self-determination has intensified following a motion passed in the Assembly Legislature and a formal appeal by PDP leader Watson Duke to Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar. The motion calls on the central government to collaborate with the THA to expand legislative authority and reintroduce revised autonomy bills. Duke advocates for a referendum framework supported by constitutional reform, ensuring informed consent from Tobagonians. He emphasized that any move towards autonomy must reflect international law. The 2020 Autonomy Bill previously failed due to lack of special majority support in Parliament. And finally, Miss Trinidad and Tobago Annalise Nanton is making a strong impression at Miss World 2025, currently ranking first with 205 points ahead of the May 31st finals in India. She leads over 5 countries tied in second place and has already secured a spot in the quarterfinals. Nanton topped the Americas and Caribbean in the head-to-head debate and placed first globally in shuttle runs. She was also named a talent finalist. Praised for consistency and poise, Nanton has represented Trinidad and Tobago with strength, earning admiration from the Miss World Trinidad and Tobago organization. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, I'm going to start with your last news story. You know, I saw the information circulating there, and you know, of course, we take pride, we take pleasure in encouraging those who are representing Trinidad and Tobago on an international platform. And I can say that all of Trinidad and Tobago is behind our candidate there in the competition.
Yes.
Waving our flags in the living room. Association, of course, will be cheering on. Social media, everybody's looking on to see what is happening. And of course, indeed, a very proud moment when we get reports of this nature.
Yes, yes.
Right? So what's been happening in your neck of the woods, Akilabi and Biana?
Well, for me, I'm very consistent. I'm still consistent. I am hoping that you are still consistent. So that's me on my end.
Well, you know, as I mentioned, doing this job with the Best Village, this group, working with this group of Best Village, so I'll be pretty busy this week, you know, rehearsing, and something about it is just get me, you know, I enjoy it, you know, it's something new, it's something exciting. So I just try new things, and I'm really enjoying this one.
Biana, we have to be up front and center for this performance.
I wonder if it's dancing he's practicing.
No, you know, I decided to ease them up with the dancing this wrong. And going into singing, I'll be singing.
Oh,
up front,
that's interesting.
Up front and center we will be for this performance, of course, looking out there, lending that support. Well, for me, it's the same projects around the community, the church, and just engaging myself in opportunities to help others, especially the young people. You know, they have a passion for young people, so that is where my focus is these days, and ensuring that they kind of in line. You know, there are so many challenges on the outside, and we really have to focus on how we can help each other. And that is what I want to leave with our viewers this morning, to ensure that if you have the opportunity to help somebody, let's go out and help them this morning, this week, and of course for the rest of the year. You know, it doesn't take much to help somebody if you are able to so do. All right, Biana, thank you so much for joining us this morning and bringing the news in 90 seconds. We do hope that you have a wonderful day.
Same to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning. It's that time where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And you know, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good celebration. And this morning we start off by saying a very, very happy birthday to the beautiful Miss Abigail. That's right, Abigail Teasdale. She's celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you, Abigail. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope you have a wonderful birthday today.
And we say happy birthday to Brian Thomas, Uncle Brian. I know him very well as Uncle Brian. And Uncle Brian, I know you're going to have a good day today. I know the people surrounding you are going to show you so much love and care and kindness. And I know that you're going to take this time off to really reflect on your life and all the blessings that have come your way over the years. Happy birthday to you, Uncle Brian. Up next, we have Antonio Philip. Happy birthday, Antonio. Happy birthday to you, sir. Looking very serious, very refined. And we wish you God's richest blessings and pray that you continue to grow from strength to strength in this life. Happy birthday to you.
And we say happy birthday to Patrice Jofield. Patrice is also celebrating a birthday today. A beautiful lady she is indeed. If you sit next to Patrice at an event, you'll be laughing from beginning to end. Patrice, we say happy birthday to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday, as wonderful as you are. So happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Mr. Jeffon Royal Jackson, the big singer, yes, well known as an artist here in Tobago. We wish you God's richest blessings on your special day. We hope that you see many, many more years to come and you continue to grow from strength to strength, and that you will be highly blessed and favored by the Lord. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Jackson.
And my namesake, this is Adana Job. Adana Job is celebrating a birthday today, and we do hope, of course, lady, that you have a wonderful birthday today. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope as you enter this new chapter that the pages are beautifully written. A happy birthday to you, and we pray that your heart's desires are granted according to God's will for your life. So happy birthday to you, Adana.
Happy birthday to you, Miss Anuola Charles. Miss Anuola Charles, happy birthday to you. We wish you God's richest blessings. We wish that you surround yourself with those who cherish you, those who love and cherish you and will lift you up. Happy birthday to you.
And finally, we have Crystal Alexander. Crystal Alexander is also celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful and an amazing birthday. So happy, happy birthday to you as well. And of course, even if you are celebrating and we don't have your photographs, we join in the celebrations with you this morning, and we remind you to put God first, because He is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. So who are we having conversations with this morning in studio, Akinlabi?
Yes, so today we are having conversations with Sherman Joy Charles, who's a behavioral services officer, and Dion Monday, who's a therapeutic counselor, and they're from the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, coming to speak to us about substance use and mental health. That will be an extended interview, so they'll be here with us for a pretty long time. And then we close off the show with Mr. Don Grant, who's the executive producer of Tobago Fashion Quota 7, and he's here to talk about the Tobago Fashion Quota 7 date change.
All right, viewers, we do hope that you could stay with us as we have those conversations this morning. Very, very important conversation and interesting topic coming from the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection.
Indeed.
And you want to be a part of it, get the information, be in the know. Remember, you can be a part of the conversation by leaving your comments on our Facebook and our YouTube live stream at Tobago Updates Television. And for those of you who are viewing on AMPLIA 102 or on Flow 121 or 130, we welcome you this morning. Of course, we say thank you so much. It's because of you why we are number one. So whether you are right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, England, Asia, Australia, Africa, wherever you are this morning, this is your opportunity to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me need ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but the children, cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there, me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russell Tree Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning in studio by speaking with Ms. Sherman Joy Charles, Behavioral Services Officer, and Mr. Dion Monday, Therapeutic Counselor of the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so this morning we'll be talking about substance use and mental health. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us this morning.
Of course, a pleasure being here with you in studio this morning and speaking on this very, very important topic. And I will start by saying that sometimes we take mental health for granted and we misuse the word to mean something that it's not. We attach a stigma to mental health. And so we notice that people don't really pay attention to their mental status. And so they don't seek help. They don't understand. Some things are not defined. There's a taboo. Yes. And so people, their needs just go unattended, and then they escalate and things happen, and then now we have to deal with the outcome.
Yes.
And so it's very important to have conversations of this nature so we could understand what it really means to have a situation of a mental situation where you need attention. How do you know your triggers and those types of things, which we've had conversations about before.
Yes.
And so we want to connect substance use to mental health and what would drive somebody to decide, listen, I rather use a substance than go and ask somebody for help.
Yes.
Because as a coping mechanism, right? So let's talk through the topic and the relationship of the substance use and mental health.
So first of all, I want to define what a substance use disorder is. So a substance use disorder is when someone continues to use a substance even though they may be having some negative effects. So I can give some examples. So you might be smoking cigarettes and you realize that every time you smoke, you get a coughing fit. You can't breathe as much. But even though you're having these negative effects, you still feel the need to smoke. You may be someone who might be using alcohol, so you're always getting drunk, and your family members want nothing to do with you because you're always on the street, you're always drunk. You know this is a result of the alcohol use, but you're still using it. Or in a case where you may be using marijuana as a student, you realize, as I'm smoking, I'm not able to concentrate, I'm not doing well in school, I'm not able to play the sports I would usually play. And even though you know that it's a direct result of the marijuana use, you still insist on using the marijuana. So that's where the substance use disorder comes in, where you continue to use it. You have this compulsive need to use a substance, even though it's negatively affecting you and also those persons who are closest to you.
And why do you feel, in your experience, especially in the field, people prefer or they resort to using a drug? Sometimes they might think it's recreational,
yes.
And they resort to using this drug rather than talking to somebody. I know sometimes they think that men are macho and so they don't want to talk to nobody, and I rather drink a bottle of rum. And what are some of the things that lead people to that rather than having a conversation that is definitely needed?
I think when it comes to adults in particular, I think you mentioned it, the lack of coping skills. They prefer to use the substance because once it's a quick fix. So you may be stressed, you may be angry. You would hear a lot of persons would say, instead of going and stabbing somebody, let me smoke something and just relax. So it's a quick fix to deal with the situation. And we love things to happen at a quick pace. We love the immediate pleasure of things. And so we prefer to use these substances. In regards to children at school, it's a simple matter of they're at the stage where they want to experiment. So this is something new. Let me see what happens. They may be having a situation where they maybe feel pressured. They may feel a need to fit in. So that is why they will get involved in these substances. So it varies a lot. But I think what's most important is that persons don't have the necessary coping skills to deal with not just their regular challenges at home, but specifically their mental health challenges as well.
Okay, I don't know, either of you could jump in on this, but how prevalent in your work in Tobago here, how prevalent have you seen persons turning to substance use to deal with their matters?
I think it's increasing. We had a situation where when COVID happened, you realize a lot of persons were dealing with the loss of jobs. The children are home at school now, so you don't have the teacher to take them for that 8 hours. You have to deal with them 24/7. Persons losing income, persons like myself who just couldn't leave the country because I love to travel. And so you have all these stressors. And like I say, the easiest thing for you to do is really to just drink something to calm down. I remember during COVID, my father was ill. He ended up dying. And even I was one of those persons that realized that to just calm me down and deal with the grief, I would drink something. I would take an alcoholic beverage. And then after a while, it became something that I had to kind of get off of, because once I felt stressed, I would go towards the alcohol. So we're seeing a lot of situations where persons are using the substances to deal with those challenges.
So most persons, I don't want to make this a definitive statement, but most persons most likely will not come to seek help with a counselor for their matters.
Yes.
What other types of coping mechanisms can they engage in that would be of more benefit to the individual than the substance use?
So the important thing is that we are trying to eradicate the stigma, and that's why we have education, so that persons can feel comfortable in a space and understand that everyone goes through something in life. And I always tell people that life is not always a bed of roses. You will encounter stress, and it's okay to acknowledge that you need support. You need assistance. A lot of times persons, as you spoke before about males, a lot of times men would tend to seek out maybe the rum shop or the barber shop and think the barbershop conversation is sufficient, or having a drink would suffice. And they don't see the need for reaching out because they see it as a point of weakness, or a place of weakness. But actually it's a strength. Having the ability and the emotional awareness to be able to reach out and say, well, I need that support. And that's why it's important that we encourage and foster an environment and build that community whereby persons can understand that reaching out for help is not something that is so taboo, as you would have said.
And I want to bounce off on what you're saying in terms of let's say there's somebody that somebody in your circle who is dealing with a situation or situations that are too much for them to handle. They turn to substances. How can that circle encourage this person? Listen, I mean, in as much as we can be here for you, you actually need the professional help. How do you encourage that person? Because in the back of their mind, they're still thinking, I don't need no help. Oh, I got you guys. I got the bottle of rum. I got my coping mechanisms, and I'm good for now. But sometimes we don't realize that things can escalate. They can get out of hand. There can be triggers that might cause you to go into.
Yes.
So how does the circle of people around them encourage them to go out and ensure they get that type of assistance they need?
I think that's the response right there. They need that continuous support. And once they have that continuous support before it actually escalates, because what we have to realize is that mental health is on a continuum. We all find ourselves along that line. So on one end of that continuum, you have good mental health, and on the extreme end, you have poor or failing mental health. And when they realize, and it so happens that a lot of times persons recognize that they are on the extreme end of that continuum, and that's when they recognize that they do need therapeutic intervention or even psychiatric intervention where it comes to medication. And even when they reach to that place, compliance with their medication and their therapeutic regimen is necessary. So building that support system is very vital for their recovery.
Do you think people with good mental health, do you think it is important for them also to understand both ends of the mental health? I can't remember what the term you use. Continuum, that's the word.
Yes.
Do you think it's important for everybody to understand? Because somebody might be in good mental health, they're okay, everything is all right. So I don't really need to worry about that. Do you think it is important for everybody to know? This is what...
Because you have to... So I always tell people, know what your triggers are.
Yes.
Know what triggers you. Know what causes you to go over the edge. And always be able to recognize the signs in your body. So for example, if you know your elbow is hurting too much, you will visit a doctor, not so. If you think your eye is twitching too much or your hand is scratching where we might think it's money. But if you recognize strange things in your body, you will seek help. It's the same way if you recognize how much, you have to be able to know how much you're able to take. What is your pain threshold, or what is your stress threshold? And when you identify that, then you are able to know, okay, before I move from good mental health all the way down to poor mental health on that continuum, let me seek further guidance.
You stated something earlier about family, friends, your community being there for you. But we also have a situation where persons often say nobody takes care of the carer.
Yes.
For the family that is supporting somebody with a substance problem, it could become very stressful.
It does.
How would you advise those persons to cope with the stresses of dealing with somebody with a mental health issue?
So I always tell them the same way that you would want help for your significant other, your family member, your friend, it's the same way you need to seek help. When we talk about substance use treatment, we don't just look at the individual. We look at the individual as a whole. Who is around them, how their family is affected. And we normally would involve them in the counseling situation because they would also need help on how to cope. We also advise them to not feel guilty because a lot of times persons can't blame themselves for their family member being in that situation. So we often tell them you need to not feel guilty, you need to not feel as though this is your fault. And as Mr. Muddy would have said, you also need to know how much you can take. Because what happens, a lot of persons stay in these situations because they feel as though I have to stay there to help. But you also need to understand there are times when I may need to step away. We have situations where persons become enablers. So they protect these substance misusers. They try to excuse their behavior. They try to protect them. And in essence, you're enabling the behavior because you're sort of covering for them. So we always encourage them, you have to seek help for yourself. You have to stop blaming yourself and stop feeling guilty about the situation. And you have to ensure that your behaviors are not enabling the substance misusers' behavior.
You talk about persons knowing the stresses and that kind of thing. But the majority of persons in Tobago, in the country, they won't even realize that the mental health failing. They might just think, well, I'm under stress, I can just drink alcohol, that kind of thing. And we spoke about raising awareness earlier. But just tell us specifically, how has your unit been going around raising that awareness, getting persons to shift their mindset from just thinking of their mental health in a very casual way and taking it a lot more seriously?
Well, for the therapeutic counselors, we've been doing a lot of outreach, and we've been getting a significant amount of referrals from external service providers and stakeholders requesting our services to come out and chat with their staff. And we see throughout the length and breadth of Tobago, the island of Tobago, that persons are encountering challenges coping with stress, anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, prolonged grief. And these are some of the more prominent challenges that we've been seeing emerging on the island as relates to ADAP.
Yes. So we do education, the Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention Program. We're focused on drug prevention education. So we go out and we educate persons on the issues surrounding substance use. We're looking at the effects, why you use, and we also look at them developing the life skills, the resistance skills, the coping skills to help them resist. And for those persons who are using, to help them stop their substance use. So that's what we're doing at the division.
We're getting some really, really good information here this morning, and we have to continue the conversation, but we have to go for a short break. Remember, you can leave your comments on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. We'd love to hear what you want to know as well. You can ask your questions and you can be a part of the conversation. But as we go, we invite you to help us.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
We'll be right back.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. Before we continue conversations, we have the photo of the day. Can you guess where this photo was taken? This is right here in beautiful Tobago, and we want to say thank you to Lawrence James for sending in this photo today. Remember, we will reveal the answer to you at the end of the segment, but you have the opportunity to leave your response in our Facebook and YouTube live stream comments. Beautiful, beautiful Tobago, I tell you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we continue conversations this morning. We're speaking with Ms. Sherman Joy Charles and Mr. Dion Monday. They're both representatives of the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection as we continue to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month. Before we went to the break, we were talking about public awareness in terms of ensuring people understand what mental health is, what their triggers are, when they should seek help. And my question is, at what age? Because we're talking about your visiting offices and, we're talking about all the different services that you provide. But let's be realistic and bring it into a real life scenario. At what age should somebody really start having a conversation about my mental status? When is a good time to start identifying triggers and knowing that I can talk to somebody, reach out to somebody? What kind of age group are we looking at?
So that speaks to building what we call emotional intelligence. And we often recommend at the age of preschool, so emotional intelligence is really and truly the ability to recognize, understand, regulate your emotions and know how to use them in specific areas. And we say starting at the preschool age because you're trying to build and cultivate that level of emotional intelligence from a child. And as they grow, they develop these skills. So they learn social skills. They learn how to navigate the world around them. They learn how to manage their emotions, learn problem-solving skills, coping mechanisms, and so on. And as they grow and develop and they become more emotionally aware, they learn how to critique themselves and how to do introspection. And it's only when you're able to do that, as we spoke before earlier, in terms of recognizing your triggers and understanding your triggers and then developing healthy coping mechanisms. So, people use unhealthy coping mechanisms such as substances and other forms of activities, but we try to push and emphasize, yes, it's a feel-good moment. In the moment, you feel okay, but what is the end results? So that's why we try to encourage persons to build healthy coping mechanisms so that it benefits them and those that are around them.
And I'm happy that you introduced healthy coping mechanisms, because we always refer to the unhealthy ones. Yes. And what are some of the healthy ones that you can recommend that people can consider that they engage in to get themselves back in a good place, at least a place good enough to seek help? Because, you mentioned that the coping mechanisms are only temporary. Some of them, which are good, can stick Like going for a walk could be a good coping mechanism. I've seen some people use that and they've actually lost weight and they feel better and they're good. But some of them don't follow through. So they will still need the professional help. So what are some of the healthy coping mechanisms that people can engage in?
Right. So we encourage persons to do a lot of journaling. That's very important. Get your emotions out. Exercise is very healthy and very useful as well. Seeking support from family and friends, it's very important as well. We invite persons to engage in mindfulness activities, breathing exercises, what we call in the field of psychology, learning how to challenge your negative thoughts. So a lot of times behavior is preceded by an emotion, which is preceded by a thought. So we oftentimes tell persons, once you begin to have control over your thoughts, then you will evidently have control over your feelings and emotions, and then evidently your behavior. So it's important that you learn to see the positive things throughout the course of the day. So we engage persons. So one of the activities I work with my clients is a positive journal. What can you get out of today that was positive? Because a lot of times our mind tends to focus on the negative things, and we try to highlight the positive things that is happening in our lives. The simplest thing, someone opening a car door for you, someone stopping a car for you to cross the street. It's positive, and when you're able to see that, you have a different perspective on life.
Absolutely. And some of those things you kind of take for granted, somebody stopping for you to cross the street, you think you were supposed to stop. But actually it's an act of kindness. Yeah, that's right. It's an act of kindness that you really can use to cheer yourself up and to see your self-worth. And I endorse journaling, viewers. I endorse journaling because I have seen the benefits of journaling. And I mentioned before you all came on air that I work with a group of young people, and one of the things I encourage them, journal. Every experience you have, journal it, because that group of people, young people, they be going through it. They are going through it. So I encourage them to journal, good and bad, and to weigh the pros and the cons. What could I have done better? What works out for me? What are the things I can do? So I really endorse that, and I really want to encourage our viewers this morning, to pay attention to the things around you and the things that alter your behavior, and what is the reason that cause your behavior to be altered. As Mr. Monday said, he said, when you get to master your thoughts, and it might sound difficult, It might sound difficult. So our viewers want to know, how am I going to be mastering my thoughts to ensure my behavior change?
When it comes with practice. So I oftentimes use the example. If you want the ideal weight, you go to the gym consistently. Not so?
Yes.
Right. And then when you achieve that goal, you will have to maintain it. So I oftentimes tell persons, let's picture yourself at the gym. You will go to the gym for 6 to 8 months just to fix carnival. But after carnival, what happens? You still want to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And it's so doing the same way for your mental health. It's all about ensuring that you commit to the process. And after you have achieved good mental health, you work on actually maintaining that.
Mr. Monday, we spoke earlier about younger persons coping with the stresses of life and the environments that they're in. And we know a lot of young people, a lot of children and teenagers, they live in very stressful home environments. In terms of those kinds of individuals, how do coping mechanisms work for them? Because you might give them a coping mechanism and they have no choice because they are minors. They can't really remove themselves from the environment. They have to live in the environment. It might be an abusive environment, or it might just be an environment where the child cannot live like a child. They have to, some children have to live like adults because they have to help their parents, and that really impacts on their mental health as well. How, in your experience, how successful has coping mechanisms been in helping those persons?
Well, I think it goes back to involving the entire family, as we spoke about community and family. And what I would usually do in terms of when I'm working with children or minors, now they're minors, so of course they have to access our services through a parent or guardian. And I always encourage parents to be a part of the conversation and invite them into sessions from time to time to give them feedback. And not just only feedback, but I give them homework. So I give the parents activities to do as well to help address some of the challenges, because the reason that these parents would have sought out help is the fact that their child is acting in a way that is not in the norm, within the norm, and they're concerned. And I use that as an example. I say, you're concerned. So therefore, the advice and the counsel that you are receiving now, put it into practice. And I use that as an opportunity to get into the family. And sometimes you may have to do not just intervention with the child alone, but with the parents and the family in general.
But in cases where, let's say the parent hasn't reached out, it's the child that is reaching out. What is the legal situation? Can the child access counseling without the permission of the parent?
No. So we have to be very mindful of that. Children cannot. And in the past, we've had young persons reaching out to us through our hotline, and we would have had to take a stand and indicate that we are guided by certain policies and principles and guidelines that govern the state of our land as well. And they must reach out with a parent.
Is it possible, I think I understand what you're saying, because it really is challenging for a person who is not an adult to seek help if they really need it. Say, mommy has to come with me or daddy, and they are the reason why I'm actually seeking help. So I understand the challenge there. But is it possible, because I know, of course, there are agencies who work together, you collaborate, and of course you have that relationship. In terms of the setting, the school setting, like student support services, is it possible for an officer or guidance officer to make a connection and make a recommendation for the child to be referred?
Correct. So children can speak to their guidance officers, their school social workers, or their school psychologists, and they in turn will do an assessment to determine the needs of the child. From then, they would make connection with the parents. And from then, if they need to outsource further therapeutic intervention, that's when they reach out to us at the division.
So it really still depends on the parent. It goes back to the parents.
It goes back to the parents.
So is there, I know this might be way beyond you, but is there a need for some sort of legal amendments to allow children to access mental health without their parents? Because sometimes, like my co-host said, the parents are the cause of the mental health breakdowns, the challenges that the child is feeling, and those types of parents, those types of adults may not be very open to that kind of intervention, but the child is desperate for it.
Well, the only thing I can think about is the Children's Authority.
Yeah.
If the child determines that they're in a space where it's toxic, it's abusive, then they have no choice but to reach out to the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and they will get support from there. They are the only body that will be able to do that level of intervention without that parental. Yeah.
Okay.
As challenging as it is, I am still happy that there are outlets.
Yes.
And there are resources that we can use, young and old, that we can, reach out to and ensure that we get the measure of help we want. And I want to focus back to the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection in terms of what type of assistance or services you provide because we spoke about substance use disorder for that, and also for general mental health.
So I will talk about the substance use disorders. So what we offer at the division is we have outpatient treatment services. That's basically you come in for counseling maybe once or twice a week, depending on the severity of your substance use, and then you go back home. Right now, we don't have an inpatient facility, but we do have links with inpatient facilities in Trinidad. So if we see that there is a need that you need to be referred to them, then we can make that referral and make that linkage as well. And I know that the mental health unit at the Tobago Regional Health Authority, they also have a substance use clinic where persons who may need a more clinical treatment can also access treatment there.
So as it relates for therapeutic intervention at the therapeutic counseling unit, we do in-house counseling, but we also do referrals to the Child and Adolescent Center. We also do referrals to the mental health clinic. So what happens is we have persons that will present with, as we're on the topic of substance, persons who may present with what we call substance-induced psychotic disorder or psychosis, substance-induced bipolar disorder, and substance-induced depressive disorder. Now, because these these disorders are due to the fact of substance. And because of the nature and the symptomology, you may have to seek treatment elsewhere to bring those symptoms to a place where talk therapy will be able to be useful. Yes. Because when you get a substance-induced psychotic disorder, you talk about hallucinations and delusions and persons who are not grounded in reality. Mm-hmm. So talk therapy is not going to work if I'm speaking with someone who is not grounded in reality. Mm-hmm. So therefore we outsource and we would refer to the substance use clinic at the mental health clinic in the Scarborough General Hospital, and we do other referrals. Sometimes we have clients that come in from the school services, and once they are within the schools and the guidance officers are able to work with them, we can do referrals back to guidance officers as well.
Yes, it is a lot. It is indeed a lot. But I'm very, very thankful that the services are there. And if persons wanted to contact you, how can they reach you?
So for us, we have the counseling support hotline. That is 683-8341. You can reach out to a therapist between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. And someone will take your information, do a referral, and then you will be referred subsequently to a therapist. So that's one way. They can come into the division, come up to the 4th floor. So we are located at number 7 Montessori Drive in Glen Road. You come up to the 4th floor. You just let the security know you're here to do a referral, and we'll take it from there.
And at ADAP, we're at the same building. They're on the 4th floor, we're on the ground floor. And you can contact us at 487-6665 between the hours of 8 to 4 p.m., 487-6665.
Thank you guys so much for coming this morning and sharing this very, very, very important information with our viewers. Viewers, there is help. You are not alone. You are not alone. There is help, and you can reach out for help. Let us break the stigma of thinking that we don't need support with our mental status, because we do. The simplest of things can escalate into something that is overwhelming that you might not be able to manage. So keep your circle tight and close. And also, if they tell you, sis, you need some help, reach out for help. And you can get that at the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. We've been speaking with Ms. Sherman Joy Charles and Mr. Dion Monday of the Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection as we continue to celebrate and bring information and awareness to Mental Health Awareness Month. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations, and as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Harblow Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up. It's more than a brunch. It's an experience.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games, and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our wellness center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrell Springs, Scarborough, or doctor's office in Goodwood and Darrell Springs. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we have in studio with us executive producer of the Tobago Fashion Coda 7, Mr. Don Grant. And he's here to talk to us about a date change for Tobago Fashion Coda 7. Good morning and welcome, Mr. Grant.
Yes, good morning to you, Akinlabe, and to all the viewers and listeners out there in cyber world. Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes, good to have you here in our studio once again. So tell us about this date change, Mr. Grant.
Yes, well, Tobago Fashion Coda 7 has now moved forward to Saturday, August 16. Same bad time, same place at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Mm-hmm. And what we are doing now, we are calling this pre-independence fashion show. Mm-hmm. And the after party, of course. So it's going to be the same design. Well, most of the same designers, I must say, in the Tobago designers. Media Walden had, she confirmed. Darian Phillips had confirmed. Euphoric Designs. We now have a great addition in that of Andrew John Smith.
Right.
He is now on the show. So I'm so very happy to have him. Let me just say good morning to Andrew. And I think it's going to be great. Ted Arthur is on board as well. And from Trinidad, we have Neha Karina confirmed, the Indian designer. As we bring it to the independence now, we are still keeping the Indo and the Afro culture together. And Eclipse Eli, the very strong man designer, he's on board. So we are yet to confirm a few other details from Trinidad, but it's Tobago first and Tobago focused as always. So I'm looking for another Tobago designer as well to fill the gap.
I was now going to ask, bring up the matter that you've expanded the amount of designers and particularly the amount of Tobago designers involved in the Tobago Fashion Coda. Just speak to us a bit more about that inspiration for, expanding the roster.
Well, it has always been Tobago focused and Tobago first. Let me tell you, listen, Tobago Fashion Coda had dug deep into the fashion industry of Tobago, okay? The new, the orange industry, if you like to call it. We've always pushed forward the Tobago product. We've trained models. We've encouraged Tobago designers, young designers have gotten a platform on Tobago Fashion Coda Runway that we have streamed live to the world. I mean, just recently we had the world famous makeup artist Kirk Cambridge Del Pesh, who is now in London at the West End doing Hercules for Disney. Okay, what did we do? Well, we paid for his transport to come here. We paid for his stay here at the Magdalena, and he's still paying, in fact. And we did, 2 major workshops for free to the makeup artists here in Tobago, encouraging business, encouraging the economy. Revlon, in fact, who's one of our major sponsors, came back, and now they have to bring makeup artists and hairstylists from Trinidad. I mean, it's what it is. Let's put it that way. However, we're supposed to have Revlon certified makeup artists here in Tobago and hairstylists. Let's face the fact. I always say, and this is my, we're as good as any and we're better than many right here. So it's very important that we get together here on a level that could compete and compare with the world.
And you spoke about that very significant investment that you've made for the fashion industry in Tobago.
Correct.
Come August the 16th, or around that time, I don't know if you'll be working on doing any other additional workshops to help build the capacity to build out a burgeoning and thriving fashion industry on the island.
Correct. Well, that is a very good question, Akinlab, I gotta tell you. And that would depend mostly on the support. Let's face the fact. We need to partner with the THA like we have been before, okay? And a shameless plug, I'll reach out to, the executive of the THA to come on board and in fact sponsor these workshops and events for the orange industry, because, I can't do it by myself. It's cost, it's the business of fashion. And if the THA is serious about, doing these things, then certainly they should come on board. Listen, Akinlabe, you were involved in a fantastic show in Buku. Let's face the fact. The show was postponed, 3-4 times. Finally got it together. And what a show. Let's face the fact. Runway over the pool. I mean, I was there. I came to support the industry because, I am fashion. Fashion is a lifestyle, and Tobago Fashion Code is the face, image, and lifestyle of a Tobago experience. So it's very important that we come on board and we support each other, because it's about coming together. It's about cooperating and collaborating. And I'm preaching, to the pastor, I'm sure, but I keep saying the same thing. My message is on point all the time. So let's do it.
I know, like you said, I know how difficult it is to really execute a fashion show, particularly in the Tobago space. It's very, very difficult. Anybody trying to do that is, quite frankly, anybody trying to do that, in my opinion, they're doing human service, because it is an extremely difficult task.
Thank you.
But come the 16th of August, what can persons expect? I know you've been saying it before, but just tell us again, what could persons expect from Tobago Fashion Coda come August 16th?
Okay, so you're going to have the fashion, the fantastic designers I just mentioned. The art is still there, Superville on display. The music, okay, I just spoke with Show in Winchester. He's getting the band together again. I have with Charlon Bailey. I have confirmed K.I. and the band. Okay, before KI is going to be in London this weekend, for example. He couldn't come. So now on the 16th, he can, in fact, make it, right? And I'm looking for a headline act still, you know, to come to the event as far as the music, okay? There's entertainment and, of course, the fantastic cuisine. We're going to be doing at least, you know, 4 or 5 stations. We're going to have an Asian station. Of course, we're going to have an Indo station. Tobago gourmet foods. Premium drinks. We're going to still be roasting 3 Pigs Tobago style out on the Atlantic Ocean and brew food. You know, we'll be grilling it all there. So it's going to be a fantastic, full flavor, fashion, premium event. And of course, the drinks, it's premium. You know, Tobago has been a space that I must say, yes, it's difficult to operate, but it's a beautiful space. Let's face the fact. You know, we're gorgeous here. You know, we're beautiful. You know, we're strong, and I'm proud of representing Tobago for Tobago. You know, I live Tobago. You understand? Tobago lives in me. So you know, I'm here. I'm a part. I'm not going anywhere. And I feel this effort needs to be supported, you know, wholeheartedly by the powers that be.
And you've listed so much that is going to be on offer, and I'm pretty sure you're whetting the appetites of a lot of persons listening right now. So just tell them where they could source tickets for this event.
Okay, so the tickets would be at your regular ticket outlets here. We're going to have Barcode involved again, Renmar's, Fairways, of course the Magdalena Grand, Soleil will have tickets, Island tickets. All the designers will have theirs as well. And in Trinidad, Blanix 212, there are 4 stores. Eclipse Eli, he has 4 stores as well. And the tickets will be on sale and forthcoming. And I gotta tell you, watch the price. Get your tickets early. And for those who had tickets, in fact, your tickets will still be honored on the 16th, but that price will hold. But we are going forward, like I said, with a firm faith, and watch the ticket pricing, because we get now a headline act. Of course, it's going to have to change. But, you know, the saga continues. We have the luxury of time now, and we are going to go forward with a firm faith and make this fantastic, exceptional experience that it's always been. Tobago Fashion Quarter 7 at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort on 16 August, Saturday, 2025.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Don Grant. That was Mr. Don Grant, and you heard it, August 16th, 2025. Tobago Fashion Quarter will be on at the Magdalena Grand from 5 p.m. to midnight. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Tobago Fashion Quarter 7. All right, so that is it for our program for this morning. But before we close off, we go to our photo of the day. Yes, our photo of the day sent in by Mr. Lawrence James. Did you guess where this photo is? This is in Tobago. And this is a photo of the Palatuvere Jetty. Yes, that's the North Coast Palatuvere Jetty. You know the North Coast is filled with beautiful, absolutely stunning beaches. And this is a photo of the Palatuvere Jetty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the Tobago Updates morning show, but our programming doesn't stop. Tobago Updates is continuing with GMT. Good morning, Tobago. So stay with us and do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. GMT is up next. The Tobago Fashion First event was conceptualized in 2024 by the Tobago Day Planning Committee. We wanted to introduce a new event into the calendar while at the same time creating something of real substance. We also aimed to create a platform for Tobago's immensely talented designers. Welcome to Tobago Fashion First, and enjoy Tobago's Fashion First.
This event was designed as a launch platform for our fashion industry, a space to bring to light the remarkable talent and creativity of Tobago's designers, to place their names and brands into the public spotlight, and to say to the world, Tobago has what it takes. The opulence we witness tonight is all Tobago, by Tobagonians, for the world. Our designers and models are not simply participants in the fashion industry. They are contenders. And with the right support, they can stand proudly among and even rival the most celebrated figures in the global fashion scene. Tonight is a statement. Tobago is here. We are bold. We are brilliant, and we are ready to take our place on the world stage.
When the mountains rise before me, I believe I can feel it on. I will follow the path if you lead me. Just don't let go. If I promise you'll feel it always, tell me why you had to lie. I would hold on to it forever. You need to try and never be saying I'm sorry, feeling alone. And always be lonely on your own. Just say I'm sorry. Just say I'm sorry. Just say I'm sorry. Just say I'm sorry. When a moonlit sky surrounds me, I believe I can see your light. I will reach for riches, guide me, hold me tight. If I promise you'll feel it only, show me how to make this right. I will get away feeling lonely through the night.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Tobago Updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong. And the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The Stand Your Ground legislation could soon reach Parliament, with Attorney General John Jeremy aiming to introduce the bill following the upcoming mid-year budget review. This move depends on the findings of a specialized committee currently being formed by the Ministry of Homeland Security. The bill may require a special majority due to constitutional implications. Jeremy is awaiting policy guidance and comparisons with the international law. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles-Robinson expressed openness to support the legislation once details are known. Jeremy also noted that the repeal property tax is imminent, alongside other key legislative items. Additionally, Miss Trinidad and Tobago Annalise Nanton is making a strong impression at Miss World 2025, currently ranking first with 205 points ahead of the May 31st finals in India. She leads over 5 countries tied in second place and has already secured a spot in the quarterfinals. Nanton topped the Americas and Caribbean in the head-to-head debates and placed first globally in the shuttle run. She was also named a talent finalist. Praised for consistency and poise, Nanton has represented Trinidad and Tobago with strength, earning admiration from the Miss World TT organization. And finally, Tobago's push for greater self-determination has intensified following a motion passed in the Assembly Legislature and a formal appeal by PDP leader Watson Duke to Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar. The motion calls on the central government to collaborate with the THA to expand legislative authority and reintroduce revised autonomy bills. Duke advocates for a referendum framework supported by constitutional reform, ensuring informed consent from Tobagonians. He emphasized that any move towards autonomy must reflect international law. The 2020 Autonomy Bill previously failed due to lack of special majority support in the Parliament. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Now, this morning we continue our conversations and we are chatting all about finance, all about investment, and all about education. And to have that conversation with me this morning, I have the privilege of sitting in studio and chatting with Mrs. Elaine Lewis, who is the Corporate Communication Manager, Education at Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel. Thank you so much for welcoming me.
Well, we are happy to have you here. Now, this morning we're talking all about money, but we have Mr. Kishon Morton, who is the Deputy Program Coordinator and Financial Literacy Secretariat at the Financial Literacy Secretariat. Excellent. Now, this morning we're talking about the National Investor Education Month and all that's happening as you are celebrating that and raising awareness for investment in Trinidad and Tobago, but specifically we're talking about all that's happening here on the island of Tobago. So Mrs. Lewis, tell us a bit about some of the initiatives that you guys have taking place on a whole, and what are we really talking about here this morning?
Thank you again so much for having me and my colleague, Kishon. As you would know, Chanel, we are responsible for regulating the securities industry. And part of that mandate involves educating persons on investing. So throughout the course of the year, we do that. But during the month of May, which is our anniversary month, we kind of intensify and expand our outreach. And we also, of course, know that we include Tobago. So we're here collaborating with the Division of Finance and Economy to the Secretariat to host this investor education forum. And partnering with us on that would be the Central Bank as well, Securities Association, and the Mutual Fund Association, and of course the FLS a key player because they are the ones who are putting it on behalf of the financial sector regulators.
Excellent. And even as the Division of Finance is facilitating some of the forums as it pertains to investor education, tell us about what is happening.
Well, tomorrow we start at 9:30 at the Victory Boost Financial Complex at the Penthouse. As Ellen would have said, tomorrow is basically equipping Tobagonians with the tools needed to invest safely, understanding what are their rights and what protections they may have under the SEC, for redress if they their investments don't go the way that they're supposed to in some sort of dishonest way. Also, we have experts from the Securities Association Trinidad and Tobago, which would guide them on knowing how to invest, what are securities, breaking down these concepts into simple terms so that persons will be able to take actionable steps. So we're there at the Victory Booth with our stakeholders tomorrow, 9:30 to 12:30. You can register via the division's Facebook page. There's a post there with a Google link. There's also a QR code on the image that is up at the moment. You could call us at 639-4412. We're there. We ask persons to register. That is preferred, but if you walk in, there's no problem as well.
Excellent. And tell us the time again. So that's
9:30 to 12. It won't be streamlined, unfortunately, but we hope that persons could register, or if you still don't register, you could come in off the street. That's no problem as well.
Right, and this is happening up at the penthouse. This is at the top floor.
Yes, it is.
Excellent. Now, when we talk about investing, we know traditionally and culturally investing within the community started from things like Susu and Lenhan, and it has evolved into different mechanisms that, social media and digital technology has been able to push. We've seen some legal and illegal. So tell us a bit about how this program will help persons to safeguard their investment and make that proper moral judgment in what they are putting their money towards.
I think importantly for us, we have to focus on demystifying investing. There's a perception that investing is only for some people, not for other people. And as you would appreciate, investing is for everyone. And what we encourage persons to focus on is that you earn money, whether through you own a business, income through salary. And so therefore, how do you plan to use that money? Do you engage in financial planning for the goals that you want to achieve? Let's assume, for instance, you're at your first job, you're 21 years old. What is your initial goal? Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to travel? Do you want to expand your education? Do you want to own a house somewhere? So therefore, we try to have persons focus on planning and setting some clear, achievable, or what we call SMART goals, things that are actually achievable for you. But in saving, very importantly for us is having your money work for you. So therefore, we want to encourage you to invest your money in securities, in legal instruments. There are some persons from time to time who become inveigled or encouraged or tricked into investing in these into putting their money in these get-rich-quick schemes. These are scams and they're fraudulent. And very often persons who put their money in these schemes lose their money. So therefore, at the SEC, we encourage persons to place their money in registered or regulated securities. That is to which we have oversight of. So we have on our website a list of all registered companies and all registered investments. And we advise you to consult a broker-dealer, investment advisor, and to be guided as to where to place the money based on your life stage. So we strive to have you understand that investing is also for you. Be comfortable investing, get to know your money, be familiar with your money, and to make it work for you. 2, consult an investment advisor. If you have issues along the way with your investment, you can come to the SEC in the second instance. In the first instance, you go to the company to whom you have invested with. Raise your queries, they ask your questions there. If they are unresolved, then you come to the SEC and we seek to resolve in your best interest.
Excellent. And would the forum tomorrow help persons to understand the process of investing? How do they go about finding companies that are reputable and understanding what are securities, what are the difference between stocks and bonds and, all of these different things. We hear about the REITs and all of these different terms, but how do we break that down to terms and make it understandable for the regular, everyday, average person?
As Kishan would have shared with you, we do have experts from the Dealers Association, those who deal in securities, and they would break down for the participant what are the different types of investment instruments. And maybe in going through them, for instance, we have the stocks, we have government or corporate bonds, we have treasury bills, and we have mutual funds. And in going through different types of investments, you will determine which is best suited for you based on where you are. What is your risk tolerance? If it is, for instance, you're a risk-averse investor, as most Trinidadians are, you might lean more towards investing in government bonds, which is a loan. The government borrows money from you, and they guarantee your principal plus interest at a particular point in time. You can then invest in mutual funds, another low risk investment. The high risk investments are more like stocks. And so therefore, based again on your risk tolerance and your level of financial capacity will determine where you put your money. We do have experts present who will assist you, and there will be broker dealers as well who will guide you afterwards. But we don't, as a regulator, tell you where to put your money.
Understood.
Similarly, at the FLS, we also don't tell persons where to put the money. We provide the information that will give you actionable tools to then make the best decision as you see, given your situation.
Right. And Kishon, tell us, what are you expecting to be the outcome of this forum that you guys are hosting?
I expect that every participant that is there tomorrow, and when they leave with some tidbit or actionable tool that will take them from the place that they are, looking at a roadmap and process to where they should be or want to be in terms of investing. Even if you're not at the place where you're ready to invest, we'll also have information on getting you ready, having that saving to be able to start investing. It's not anything difficult. We would actually advise for you to start small to then gain that confidence. As Ellen would have alluded, your risk profile is important, knowing how much risk that you can take and are willing to take. And that is also based on your age as well. Younger persons may be more riskier in terms of making investments because of time. And persons that are older may not think that, I want to invest that I may lose. And then in retirement and in my golden years, I don't have that money. So it's all about actionable information tomorrow. It's going to be intentional so that you can leave with a plan and some sort of process in your mind as to where you're going to go from here.
Right. I like the fact that you said actionable, because no one wants to go and spend hours sitting in a forum and just listening to people talk and then you walk away. But you want to feel like you have the action steps and the tools necessary to put what you have learned or heard into action immediately. How soon after can persons start investing?
I guess you could speak on the regulatory side.
Yes, so that's a good question, Chanel. So you have, again, you're a young person and you have, my assumption, another 40 good years. And if you're really good, another 100 years. And so therefore you're a young person, you're working, you're getting your first income and you begin to save. And you have this excess cash, maybe 20% of your income you have available to you. You want to how to utilize that money, how to make it work for you. We advise you, for instance, other than the forum, on our website, they are all companies registered to conduct trading securities in Trinidad and Tobago listed on our website. We also have a listing of all broker dealers who, again, you can engage with. So from the forum, you can go to our website, you can see the companies you may be interested in investing in, look at the broker dealers. You can also then go to our Investigate website, which shows you all the steps, the questions you need to ask. We have a calculator to calculate your earnings and where you'll be from now on, perhaps 10 years from now. They have brochures, investment instruments, retirement, if you're a woman, if you're a child, if you're a teenager. So from the forum, we direct you to our website to get information and knowledge. And from that, of course, you will then decide you choose a broker dealer and you will take it from there. But again, it's on you. We want to give you the tools, the information, and the knowledge, and you have to then act in your best interest.
Excellent. And now we live in the era of social media where persons are taking to social media to educate persons as it pertains to investing, whether it be, in digital currencies or whatever it might be. But it's important to have someone who we deem to be legit, a legitimate organization giving that information to either confirm or debunk some of the information that we often get off of the social media, right?
So let me debunk, okay? Currently, digital assets, cryptocurrencies are not regulated in Trinidad and Tobago. We advise against it. You do so at your own risk and very likely at your own peril. We advise you towards registered instruments, which we have oversight of and charge over. And so therefore, we discourage very strongly persons buying into these
cryptocurrencies.
Please don't. The probability of failure is extreme. So therefore, go invest in companies with a track record. As we say, do your due diligence. You want to invest in a company? Look at its financials. Look at its background, its history for the last 5 years. Look at the principals. Who is in charge? Do the owners, do the people who own the company, do the people who own the company have shares in the company? That's a good indicator as well. And so therefore, you look at the company's profile, you investigate the company, you inquire into the company and determine from that point, can you trust this company with your money to invest in and make a decision. But do not rely on things coming at you, that comes at you quite frequently through WhatsApp, through social media. Avoid the appeal that presents itself to you. These are persons who play at you. They understand the dynamics of the environment. They somehow know where you are at your life stage, and they come at you. And so therefore, you have to develop a certain resistance. And that is where we're here to empower you. That's why we say to be intentional, to be deliberate, to be focused. So you'll not be hoodwinked or swayed or influenced by these things that come at you online. Because quite frankly, when you think about it, you're way smarter, but you allow yourselves to be vulnerable and fall prey to these scams. Kishan?
And Sean, if I could add some context to what Ellen is saying in terms of the reality of the situation. Post-COVID, both our entities are part of the National Financial Literacy Committee, which is national. The ramping up of scams and the multiplication of scams post-COVID has been immense. And the persons that have fallen prey, sadly, to these scams that you see on social media, that comes to you on WhatsApp, in your Facebook inbox, on Instagram, and TikTok, the persons that are getting caught now are the persons who should know better. And that is something that we felt that this particular seminar needed to address as well, so persons understand the reality of the situation, understand what pitfalls you should not get into, and at your own demise, getting into these things that seem so sweet and that they promise you all these returns in not far in the future right now, and those things that seem too good to be true normally are too good to be true in the world of finance. So it's to dissuade persons from going into that direction to lose their hard-earned money.
All right, okay, Keshawn, well, you don't have to go any further. I'm already convinced I'll be there, right? But before we wrap up this morning, is there anything that you want to say specifically?
Yes, I think the public need to be aware that we have made some major advancements in terms of our ability to protect the consumer from investment scams. Prior to, I think it's 2021, there was no provision in law to protect persons who would fall victim to these Ponzi schemes and pyramid type scams. They are now deemed by law to be illegal. So therefore, if there are persons who find themselves victim to these kind of scams and they have a paper trail, we can take action against those individuals along with the other fellow authorities. So there is protection under the law for persons who fall victim to these particular type of scams that come at us at various times.
Right. So, but how do you differentiate network marketing from a quote-unquote Ponzi scheme?
Network marketing is always a scam 101, right? That is actually a type of pyramid type scheme.
But when
where
you
bring it, it's
things
layered.
like,
It's called
when
layered
you have
marketing.
things like companies who utilize it as one method of enhancing their product, not services, but products, because you have companies that have products that utilize network marketing where, I personally know persons who have successfully done it. So to paint a broad brush over the entire network marketing system as being a fraud.
No, I think it has I think it has to do with the elements of what it is they're projecting. If it is that you have this kind of marketing, it's called a layered marketing scheme, and the persons aren't really seeing any real outcome, because there have been a few where you purchase items and encourage you to set up these fake websites, these paper websites, and they put things on the website. But really and truly, and they call it investment, really and truly they aren't. And you have to look into it to see really what it is, determine whether it's a fraud or not. Only upon examination would you know. So it's not a broad brush, but we, the persons who conduct these type of marketing schemes, would know what it is we're looking for. So you can clearly distinguish between a bona fide company and those engaged in the construct of a fraudulent paper company intended to fleece persons of money. So we can tell the difference.
Okay.
We just want persons to be alert and be mindful as to what they're getting themselves involved in.
Excellent. Well, again, there's no reason why you should not attend this seminar, and this is happening tomorrow at the Victor Bruce Financial Complex right here in Scarborough, and this is from 9:30 a.m. to 12. So that means we're having lunch, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Guys, we're going to be there, and we are going to ensure that we take all the information that we can and leave with the tools that we need to start on our investment journey. Is there anything that you want to say in closing before we leave, Kishan?
Inviting our Tobagonians, if you're registered already or not registered, if you want to walk in off the street, this is about action, knowing your rights, knowing what protections fall under the SEC and other organizations, and knowing getting ready to know what is your chart forward and being able to start and being a savvy investor.
Excellent. Well, again, we want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning, and we look forward to being a part of the session tomorrow and to its success. Well, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're going to be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starter.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Saving up to go. Anything we not backing down, like a bomb we ready to explode. Ain't gonna wait until my back against the wall. Ain't gonna.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, guys. We continue our conversations this morning, and we are all gonna keep speaking as it pertains to AI and AI's interruption or disruption of industries. This morning, we're speaking particularly of drama, the arts, and film. This morning, I have the privilege of sitting and chatting virtually with Mr. Tim Timal, who is the communication consultant and AI strategist. Good morning and welcome. All right, are you able to hear me? Let's just check that audio.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Hearing me?
Excellent. So we're talking about AI disruption and how AI is now deeply entrenched in many sectors, whether it be finance, education. But specifically, while we're chatting to you this morning, we're talking about its integration into film and theater, the arts. So you have a project that you're embarking on called CLIP. But tell us a bit about how AI has now revolutionized the way we do storytelling, film, and has truly been able to enhance the orange economy.
Right. So a couple of years ago, a company named OpenAI launched a product called ChatGPT. After November, it'll be 3 years. I immediately jumped on board. I recognized the both and the value because it was something that I was looking forward to in terms of what LLMs and image generators and, of course, text to video and stuff would mean for the future. Fast forward to today, and I can say to people right now that Trinidad and Tobago, the world, film and storytelling has been democratized to the point where I am presently running a program with a number of different people, and we are teaching AI filmmaking to persons. The first group is in Point Fortin, but we're looking at doing some stuff in Port of Spain with other television stations and so forth, right? So I understand the concept of disruption, but I think we should try to see the positives of it in that it democratizes storytelling. And what that means is that, quote unquote, the average person could now make their books, they could make their films, they could sell those, via streaming platforms or other, creative platforms and so forth. So in a nutshell, yeah, that's basically it.
Excellent. And now, when we're talking about community engagement, engaging youths, and getting them excited again as it pertains to the film industry in Trinidad and Tobago, tell us about some of the work that you have been doing.
All right. So a number of years ago, it was a project teaching storytelling to and filmmaking to a group of people in enterprise. And one of the questions they asked me was, "Mr. This we will do with this?" And it was sad to say, all the storytelling, all the things that I teach, there was no outlet for it. Now, what we have and what I can assure the community is that what we have is the ability to create film products, finished film products that can be, as I said, shown on television stations, streaming platforms, or other, distribution channels. I would have sent you all my project, The Eulogy. I believe it'll be shown sometime on the station. It was shown on METV, and I think next week TTT will be showing it. I have another AI film project that will be shown this, I think it's Friday, for Indian Arrival Day on TTT as well. But what it is, AI filmmaking has totally revolutionized storytelling and filmmaking because it has lowered the costs and it has given accessibility to everyone. That has impact on schools, on education, on business, on everything basically. So yes, it's going to be disruptive, but you have to see the positive in it. It is also going to be what you call a revolutionary step in opportunity. So that when you talk about communities that might not have might not have been as fully subscribed as others, you're talking about giving people an opportunity to earn incomes, to get themselves out there, to basically participate in the pie that is Trinidad and Tobago, the economic pie.
Well, let's talk a bit about the Community Learning in Artificial Intelligence Production project and how it's going into the community to engage youths and other, artists into teaching them about storytelling, writing, editing, film using AI. Tell us a bit about this project.
Right. So I started, this is something I've been, passionate about for years. And along with some partners like Errol Fabian, Gael Television, Gael Caribbean TV, sorry, I recently started a project, as I said, a pilot project in Point 14. Our first session was last Thursday. Just before we came on, Errol and I was chatting, and our next session is this Thursday. What that entails is I basically come to Errol organized the place, and I came to the facility, and I basically showed them what was possible. A lot of what is happening now is happening at the speed of light. So whilst I was actually telling them about the particular apps that they have to use and so forth, Google dropped in, and it literally revolutionized what I was teaching. So it's a very, very dynamic field, but primarily what I am doing is exposing and making people aware of what is possible. And once that is done, it is incumbent upon them now to take that information and run with it. But as it stands right now, my goal is to make people aware, to teach them AI filmmaking, and then unleash them onto the national public, and literally have people making thousands of AI films. So entities like Tobago Updates, TTT, CNC3, TV6, Gael the Caribbean, and anything across the Caribbean as well will have the opportunity to showcase local and or regional products.
Right, and how has AI or how can AI help to maintain that cultural authenticity within film production locally, while also creating a higher level of content, increasing the quality of the content that is being put out?
Well, that is exactly what AI allows us to do. For instance, project that I would have sent you all, it was, if you look at the every comment that I've gotten about the people who were created by the AI, by the image generator. People said, "Oh, I recognize that lady. She look like a lady from South. Or I know her. She's a Pereira." Or, instead of calling names, because the look was genuine. Then, using what they call a voice changer, I was able to generate voices that sounded like Trinbagonians. Now, there's a concept in psychology called mirroring, and that basically what that basically means is that people like to see and hear things that look like them, which is why, if you recall, the Nigerian films did so well in Trinidad and Tobago, even though they were pretty low production value. They did very well because people like seeing people that look like us. The same thing happened with why we like black comedies like Sanford and Son and Jeffersons and Fairleigh. I mean, apart from them being very, very funny, it's very relatable. And even with the Indian movies that people have, well, I would have grown up with when every Sunday evening. So the 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 capacity to tell quote unquote our stories is absolutely has absolutely changed, because not only is AI capable of high production values and exactly what I mentioned just now there, showcasing our people that look like us, sound like us, it's also relatively cheap, and it's very, very, very quick to do. So, as I said, what this does is it revolutionizes storytelling, and my goal is to share that capacity, the ability to do that with the average person, so that they can now, and I was speaking with my cousin Richard yesterday, and I was telling him about, why it is we do things that we like, what we do. Now, there may be a little boy in Bethel or little girl in Charlottesville, or somebody in Canaan or in Matlat or in Toko or in middle of Laventil, who might turn out to be the greatest storyteller this country has ever seen. In fact, not just this country, the world. But we will never know that until we give them the opportunity. And why I'm so excited about AI filmmaking is because the opportunity is here right now.
Excellent. And how can persons get involved with the current clip project?
Right. So you can call me on 776-1845. That's 776-1845. Or you can email me at singpro@gmail.com. And when you all show the eulogy film, which I sent you guys, the information is also at the end of the project.
Excellent. And what type of partnerships are you trying to foster with this project?
Well, I think the first thing I've partnered with two TV stations at this point in time, because I need to get the word out. I need to get the ideas out. I've also we had a change in government recently. I've also been speaking with people either proxy to the government or in the government itself, and I've gotten a pretty good response thus far, because I think people understand that if we like I was very deliberate when I named the project Clip, because I know that there was this idea of emptying the clip, right? And yeah, we need to do that. We need to protect our people all fully for that. But we also need to understand from the other side of everything, we have to give the people who might be susceptible to violence and getting involved in crime and so forth, an opportunity to fill the clip. So you have to fill the clip whilst you're emptying the clip. And filling the clip means that you have to create opportunities for people. What AI filmmaking and what it is we are showcasing to people, it creates opportunity right now. You don't have to wait. You can, you spend a week with me, and before the end of the week, you can basically go out there and start making your own films.
Excellent.
That is what is important to me.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here, and when we come back, we'll give people a bit of a sneak peek of that AI film. All right? So see you soon.
Passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.
mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but the children, cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me picnic them will drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Springer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and them Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russell Tree Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and low, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and low. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starts.
Yes, I would like to say something. I know most of y'all don't know me. I'm the person who deceased Enid hired to deliver her eulogy.
People that Zulat know.
She was a daughter, a sister, a wife, auntie, a co-worker, boss lady, and most importantly, grandma. We's always crying and doing it.
When I was begging you to come and visit me before I died, you ain't reached yet, but his wanted to boo-hoo-hoo in the people church. Yes, you, Sandra, with your hypocrite tears. It's shame your shame.
Guys, we want to thank you so much for sticking with us this morning. No, very interesting stuff. And one of the things that we want to, highlight as we were discussing this morning is, that cultural element, ensuring that although we are using AI, being able to maintain our cultural identity while being able to boost the quality of our production. Welcome back to you, Mr. Tim. Tamal, I don't know if he's still on with us. My producers will let us know if he's still on with us.
I'm still here.
All right. So as I said before, as it pertains to being able to maintain that cultural identity, but still increase the quality of our production. So would you say that this type of content would be used to, let's say, take an idea to be greenlit by a bigger production studio to then, have the film actually be filmed and created into a real movie?
Okay, so I will answer it this way. They will in the eulogy on the AI films you will see now, it will be the worst that you will be able to that they will ever produce. It's getting better on a daily basis. So my question is, yes, it can be used as a speculative script or a speculative project to get bigger funding, but why do we always see it from that perspective? Why not? This technology allows us to create, blockbusters or any type of other films. So when you talk about the production values, they are getting higher and higher and better with each passing week. And so the question I would ask is, why wait? Because I was in LA 9 years ago. I was invited there, and people were saying, "Oh, you can do this and you can do that." I mean, a lot of talk. But what eventually happened was I recognized that there was a bunch of gatekeepers. Even in Trinidad and Tobago, I wouldn't get into my history with the film company, being a former director, acting CEO, and that kind of stuff. But I can tell you, Trinidad and Tobago is pretty much in the same situation. You have a clique of people controlling the gates, and I am saying no gates. Let's kick it down. I could have kept this technology and made things for myself and that kind of stuff. But the reason I chose and I choose to share it and what do we call it, make others aware of it, is because I do not want to be the gatekeeper. I do not want any gatekeepers. I want us to kick down the doors. So just like everything else in life, they will have people who would be better at something and who would not be as good at something. The idea, however, is that if we share this type of technology that's available to the vast majority of Trinidad and Tobago, we not only get to leap ahead about 20 years, we get to basically scrape our entire country, every nook and cranny of the country of talent. As I said, there may be a little boy in Bethel, a little girl in Charlottesville, somebody in Palatouvier, who in Canaan, who might turn out to be the greatest storyteller that the world has ever seen and generate films that will impact the community and the country to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars. The film industry worldwide is worth about between 50 and 100 billion dollars a year. I am saying that what we have right now is an opportunity for the majority of Trinidad and Tobago to participate in that industry. And even if you're not making, $1 billion, the idea, the concept of AI filmmaking is that it's relatively pretty cheap to do. And all it takes is an individual with passion and drive. And of course, with, as mentioned, an internet connection and some very cheap subscriptions to apps, and you can produce film. As an example, this film that I produced took me about 5 days, and it cost maybe about $500 to produce. In 5 years ago, if I told you I produced a film like this for $500, you'd have said that is insane. How do you do something like that? And I'm saying that the more people get on board and the more people get aware of this, whether it's in Trinidad and Tobago, in every little village and nook and cranny of Trinidad and Tobago, the better it is. Because we never know what is out there.
Right. Well, I mean, we want to congratulate you for your innovation and, your ideas of intertwining local film with AI and not getting left behind with what the rest of the world is doing. And again, you have a number for persons to contact you if they are interested in partnering, maybe to hold seminars, to do lectures, to be a part of the CLIP project. Give us your number one more time.
776-1845, 776-1845. I'm Tim, right? Or you can contact me on email at syncpro, synchpro @gmail.com.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to, you having a positive influence on the youth and helping them to expand their mind, especially as it pertains to what's possible. We should have the 6 and 7-year-olds creating their own film and their own ideas and bringing their imagination to life and really getting to, AI helps us to put a visual to our thoughts. So have all those imaginations and, the wild thoughts that, those at that tender age have, that they can see it come to life using AI.
So before I go, I just want to say, this is not just for filmmakers, this is not just for creatives, this is for parents, this is for business community, this is for teachers, this is for anybody who has ever had an idea in their head and they say, hey, you know what? I have an idea for a story or a book or whatever it is, and they want to execute that and actualize it. This is for them. And it's not very expensive and it's not very difficult to do. Simple as that.
Well, Mr. Timal, we want to thank you again for your time this morning, and I hope that your project remains successful. That is the CLIP project, and you can be a part of that. You can also follow him on his social media and see everything that's happening there and all that they are doing. Well, again, we want to say thank you to you, our viewers, this morning for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to continue to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and I want to say thank you to you and have a great day.
a brand new